Hello everybody, how you doing today? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Whacky World. So in the last couple episodes, we have spent some time decorating the Hidden Temple. That's what it's called, right? Not the Lost Temple like the gardens. It is the Hidden Temple. We spent some time decorating this wonderful little building here for the coaster track. And we built this awesome little pyramid, which is going to act as... well, as some would call it, a weenie. It's a theme park weenie, which I guess is a point of interest that you see from across the park. Now, this one doesn't have a particularly large amount of color or differentiation to it, but we're going to build up the scenery around it just a little bit, and we're going to see if we can make it look nice. Now, and that's what we're going to do this episode. We're going to spend some time decorating the area around this, and kind of figuring out what this divider is going to look like as it travels through here and separates the two pieces of the park here, the major themed areas. And I don't know exactly what's going to go over here, but I'm thinking like a large Giga Coaster and a few more pretty typical rides, maybe some of the built-in stuff, we'll see. But not this Lost Civilization pirate nonsense that we got going on over here. So we're going to fill this in a little bit this episode, and I'm thinking that it's going to be terrain, and this pathway is going to go through a tunnel of sorts, and we might make an adjustment to the monorail station. So let's go ahead and start that after we look at the research. There's more research. What is this? Test pilot coaster? I don't know. Okay, so what's this one? Dizzying Heights. Let's just get that going, and let's look at the staff really quick. We've been having staff problems. They're all happy right now. I don't think I want to train them. Let's look at the attractions and shops. It's a good thing I went and looked in here. We're losing $1,500 a month. Everything is broken down. Nothing's being fixed. Did we lose our mechanic? There is no longer a mechanic in our employ. So let's go over and let's see what's going on with all the disgruntled people over here. Everything's broken down, and they're probably all miserable. No, some of them are still happy. Look, they're happy just to cruise around and use the toilet and stand in line to buy hot dogs or, no, pizza and milkshakes, hats and gulpies, but none of the rides are working. Okay, let's drop a mechanic in here. Oh, Frontier, what have you done to us? Okay, let's set this guy down. And let's just go ahead and assign him to the front park. That was our work roster that we created. And let's pay him $310 a month. We're not going to train him. All the shops are open. Okay, so none of our new employees have quit. How do these folks look? This guy's got a very magnificent mustache. And yeah, just a mustache, no beard. And let's see. She's very clean shaven, is she not? No facial hair there. And what's this person over here look like? A very energetic young lady. All right. So our mechanic is going to get our park back on track. Where did he go first? Maybe he's heading down. Where is he? What's he doing? Where's our mechanic? Okay, let's go find him. Let's go find him. I didn't really want to be doing this episode. Where are you at? Oh, he's okay. I forgot that this thing was even over here. These people have probably been trapped on it for like 15 hours. 37 days. I don't know. Let's see. They're probably all very angry. All right. So our mechanic, he's going to go get our park straightened out, and hopefully we won't be losing money. Good thing that we had lots of money over here. We could have gone bankrupt in the last two episodes when I was playing around with this stuff. Okay, now that is straightened out, let's turn our attention over here. So let's go ahead and just get rid of all this right here. We're not going to need this, I don't think, anymore. We're going to bring the terrain up. And this is going to be nice because once we kind of fill in this area with some scenery, it's going to kind of dictate to us how is this going to look as it moves off this way and connects back up over here. It's going to help us figure that out. Okay, so, and I don't know how much of all this is going to be visible and from where exactly. And maybe it'd be really neat to have the monorail going through a tunnel. Maybe that's what we want to do. Okay, let's see here. We'll just make this kind of obnoxious. And then we'll come in here and flatten to foundation. Okay. We'll just kind of knock some of this away. All right, and then let's go ahead and push, and we'll lower the intensity quite a bit, but keep a good brush size, because all we really want to do is just push it out of this room. And let's go back to fountain to foundation, and we'll just flatten it to whatever's under here. And you can't even really see that, but one little nudge, and away it goes. And then up here, now, I don't know. Do we want this to kind of like come over the top here a little bit? Maybe. That might be neat. Let's experiment with that. Okay, we need to turn the intensity up just a little bit and the brush size. Okay. So let's just bring this up. Okay, like that. And let's go ahead, flatten to foundation, and turn down the intensity and the brush size. And just gently push it out of the room. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get this push. And we'll push in the center first, in the corner here, not the center. We'll just kind of push that away. And let's see, I kind of think, you know, maybe we do want this to kind of come in just a little bit on the top. And here's something neat we can do, right? Okay, so watch this. Let's see if this will work. Okay, so I'm going to kind of bring it around on, whoops, not down there. Just around the top a little bit. Okay, bring it in. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see if it does, and it could potentially be neat. And this is totally not this area over here, but it's all part of the same goal. Okay, start filling in the back of this here, so we know what it's going to look like, right? Okay, now up here, I think we do want to just kind of pull it down this way a little bit. Okay, so maybe we're not going to be doing a whole lot over by the temple. I think we're going to end up stuck on this thing a little bit more. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. And we'll bring it out to about here. And I'm not going to do anything over here, and I doubt I'll do anything in here. I just kind of want to focus on this, and then maybe kind of head back over this way. I don't know. We screwed all this up now. Now it's almost like I have to go in and play with it in there too a little bit. Now, anyways, this is what I was thinking we do. Watch this. I don't know how many people know you can do this, but the flatten to foundation, it also works upside down. Or it could be flatten to surface. One of them works upside down, maybe both of them. So like if we click right here, look at that. Okay, that's kind of cool, right? And the brush size is a little big. Okay, so let's just flatten it. All right, all the way across. And it almost feels to me like we're missing one of the column pieces on top. Yeah, we are. Okay. So now that we did that, let's go ahead and go back to push. And let's just kind of push it out of here again, because it got all goofed up. Okay, and there's some over here. And, you know, we might actually be able to bring some of it back in through the wall and make it rocky, and that might work okay. All right, so flatten the foundation one more time, except this time we want it to be about there. No, we want to be underneath it. Okay. We want to be underneath it. So let's see if this does it. No. Okay, so let's go under here. And I think maybe if we just push up just a little bit. Okay, now if we do it in here, there we go. Okay, let's see how much of that little top bit gets exposed from doing that. That's good. I like that. And we're just going to go along in here and just expose around the edges. Okay. And this is going to make it look like this is carved. This room is carved into, I don't know, whatever this is. It's not exactly a mountain, but this terrain. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to the roughen tool. And let's just roughen things up a little bit here. Okay. And let's, not the size, the intensity. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll roughen up here. And we're just kind of applying this, you know, all over the place. We're not really aiming for a specific look. We're just kind of tapping the mouse and letting the brush strokes apply, and then just seeing how we like it and what we need to take away. Okay, so now that we've got all that, let's go ahead and take some of this away because it's a little too much in some areas. Let's turn the intensity back down. We don't want to take away too much at once. Probably want to take away this little bit up top there. Okay. And again, the terrain editor of the game is kind of filling this in with just this green and rocky paint texture. We're going to come back in later, I think, with a custom biome, and we're going to really work on making these areas look like much nicer rock outcroppings and change the paint textures. We're going to change them to different things down here, but these are not the ones I want for this particular ride. They don't have the right aesthetic. I want something that's more rocky. There are some textures in the tropical and the alpine biomes that I think are a little bit more appropriate. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just pull it back just a little bit more. Okay. And we'll pull it down here just a little bit. And now we're just being a little bit more selective with how we got Pinocchio's nose sticking out there. Let's see if we can get that out of there. So just being a little bit more selective in how we do and how we applied the brush there to kind of get the overall look and feel. I kind of like the way this has presented itself, how it came about. But there were just a few areas that are a little rough around the edges. So with some just very careful mouse clicks and only doing a little bit at a time, because it's very easy to undo if you don't like the way it looks. Like you go, oh, I don't like that. And you just undo a couple of them and it takes care of itself. Let's go back to the roughen tool. And this time I want to do only a little bit, okay? So we're just going to roughen this up. Okay, see now, this looks really bad, okay? But watch what happens. I'll just demonstrate it. Watch what happens when you go and you paint over it and you give it a different texture. Suddenly, it doesn't look bad anymore. The only reason it looks bad is because it's the grass. So when we do add in different textures down here, I wish we had more than, what is this, 9? Yeah, 9. I wish we had more than that. I wish we had like 12. But when we go and we do that over here and over here, it's going to make these look much better, like they're carved into the rock. And I just think that'll be neat. Okay. And we don't have to worry too much about this bit up here. let's go ahead really quick. Let's just fly in here. Okay, let's see. Whee! And let's just push this rock out of here. Okay. Now, I don't know how much we're going to have to push to get it out of the room. How far in did it go? Okay, to there. So, just selective mouse clicks just to get it out of the room, right? That's all we're doing. And how's our money doing? Okay, we're making 7,000 a month, so our mechanic must be doing his job. We're just going to push all this out and get our lovely little room back. Okay, let's see. I got to aim into the corner here. And, you know, this little bit down here doesn't matter because nobody can really see in there. So that's okay. Don't have to worry about that. And we got a little bit more up here. Okay. And we didn't really have to worry about that, but I'm just going to do it anyways. Okay, so that looks better. So let's come on out of here. And what do we end up with on top? So, not terrible. Now, here's the other thing we could do on top. Let's just do some more terrain. Okay. Now, this terrain up here, oops, nobody can really see, right? Nobody can really see this, except maybe from certain rides in the park. So now if we come underneath here and we flatten the foundation, okay, this is a good, we don't have to get this terrain completely flat and even on the ride to get this entire thing enclosed off underground. And then that will make the temple that they go through a completely dark ride. Well, almost, because it's going to be open on the sides. There's no terrain closing it in on the sides. Okay, let's see. So now we're just letting this creep up a little bit. Kind of keeping an eye on the edge of the circle to make sure that the terrain just grows over the top of this architecture that we put there. So switching it over to this side. Okay, it looks like it's not low enough. Yeah, okay, this is better. And if we just move across, let's see what we get. Okay, so now we need to kind of fly in here and look at it from under here, okay? And just slowly encroach on the edge of the building. And it's very tricky doing this stuff because you can't fly through the terrain in this game. Whoop. Okay, hold on. Okay, see, so now it's looking pretty good over here. And let's go ahead and let's just pull. Let's see. I want to be able to get a better angle for this. Okay. And we want to turn the intensity way down, way down. We want like micro movements here. Micro adjustments. And now we want to push just a little bit. Okay. Now over here is an interesting thing. What are we going to do over here? How are we going to do this? And what I think is going to be neat. Let's see. Okay, so we can't really see what we're doing there, so we're just going to overdo it and then come back over here and fix it. And in this one, we can pull it just a little bit towards us. And then we'll roughen it up very slightly. Oh, got a little overdone over there, but you know, we're going to let that stay. We're going to let it stay. Let's just push it back just a little bit there. Just a little bit there. Just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to let that stay how it ended up. Now over here, we're going to continue this, but from inside here. Okay. And what we want is we want to get... okay, come on now. We want to get all of this flattened over too. So let's go ahead, let's turn the intensity up. I don't want to make it too big. Okay, so let's see. All right, so this is gonna kind of overdo it. That's okay. And now we'll just swing it back towards us. Okay. And we can connect those together in just a moment. We got to sink down lower. And we need to bring this out over here. Good. And we actually need to come out a little bit further in here. So let's see if this, it goes through the building and it gets the terrain. Okay, good. All right. Now on this one, I want to pull it down a little bit. That was a lot. I want to pull it down less than that. Okay, let's see. About there, and then I kind of want to pull it down so it covers, it comes down into this building. Okay, like that. So we started off, or I started off, with the intention of working on the temple, and then as soon as the terrain intersected this attraction, I ended up over here. It's so easy to get derailed in this game, but it's still fun. And this is going to be worth it, because once we get this done over here on this side, you know, we'll be able to go back over to the other side, no problem. So now we're just going to come through here. Oh, okay, it's auto-tunneling around the track, so that's good. Okay. And now we just want to close this up. And so we're going to pull it from the top down, because I think that has a smaller chance of seeping back into the building. Okay. We'll just close these holes. And we're going to do something over here. I don't know what exactly, to make it a little bit more fun and interesting. And I think right here, I think maybe I want to bring this down towards the ground more. Yeah, I think I want to do that. So let's just grow it this way and see what happens when we do this. Okay, I want these two to meet in the middle and kiss. Okay, there you go. All right. Now that's kind of neat. And let's just get a little bit more volume and height on this. Okay, let's see here. Let's just make this a little bit more interesting on top, right? Bigger brush. And now let's, why is the camera so slow? Okay, let's pull it this way, and let's make this a little bit more interesting. Okay. So now let's go inside. Let's see here and get the camera under control. And let's see what do we have to fix over here. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of adjustment in here with small brush sizes. We'll just push that out just a little bit, and just a little bit up here. All right. So I like that, and see, it still looks good over here. It still looks good. And so now, if we take our roughen tool, and we just kind of come around here and do a little bit of, I wanted to say roughening, but I said it anyways, didn't I? All right, we just want to roughen up the terrain a little bit, add a little bit of interesting texture. And you don't need it to be ultra crazy and jagged, just enough. Because when you go back in and you paint over it with the terrain paintbrush, these little contours and shapes, they end up looking very convincing as solid rock or whatever else you want them to be. So there we go. I'm not going to spend too much time over here specifically, because I might come back later and build some sort of building or something around it. This, however, I want to push this back, and I want to roughen it up a little bit. I want this like little cliff overhang to be closer to the building. So I think, based on how the roughen tool is working, I think we're going to push it back some. And then try doing some more roughen terrain on it. And then this one, we'll kind of push it down a little bit. Okay, so now let's try doing this again. That was a little too much, but I want to redo that one. And now we'll just push back this little nub and push back a little bit in here. There we go. Get rid of that. I don't like how that ended up. And let's just pull this. And let's turn the intensity way down. Okay, there's a little bit that's floating here. Let's see if we can make that go away. There we go. Okay, so we're going to kind of leave that how it is for now, and let's go ahead and roughen the top of it. And we're just going to move the brush slowly over the visible terrain with a pretty low intensity and a low brush size. Okay, and you can just kind of see like little hints of what is over here. So, you know, when we get that Giga Coaster, if that's what's over here, people on the Giga Coaster get a little glimpse of, you know, the people on the ride in here. It's always fun when you're on a really big ride to kind of see what everyone else in the park is doing. And let's see. And again, you know, when we go back over and paint over this with one of the different paint brushes, it'll be much more convincing. And another fun thing to do is to use one of the paint brushes that has like the little flowers in it. I think the Alpine biome has a nice little purple flower brush, and then you can kind of paint like little flower patches on top. Looks really neat. Okay. And let's just, okay, I want like 10%, really low. Yeah, let's just smooth that just a little bit. Okay, so I think that looks okay. I think we're going to keep that. I don't know what's going to end up over here. I think what it'll be is it'll kind of, the terrain will drop off. And what we'll do is this will be kind of like lush foliage, trees, and lots of bushes. And the octopus will, or the rocktopus will kind of be like in the middle of it all. And the queue for this thing, I kind of think the queue is going to kind of start through here, or maybe start over here and come this way through some jungle brush, and then like loop around these pillars and then meet up with the coaster station, and then the exit will come down here and go this way. And maybe we'll end up with like some shops or some other stuff in here as they come off the exit. That could be neat. And of course we got room over here for shops. You'll notice that as we've built this, we've left these nice little gaps, okay? We don't know what's going to go in here. Is it going to be scenery or is it going to be shops? And as we open these areas up and the guests come in here and, you know, the game is telling us, oh, they're hungry or they're thirsty, we'll drop some shops around and we won't decorate them heavily. And we'll just kind of see where the shops are most successful. And then we'll leave the shops in those areas and then fill in the remaining space with the scenery, with the foliage and the trees and the bushes and terraforming the terrain. Okay, so now that we've done all that, let's spend just a couple moments and let's just connect. Actually, you know what? I think it's going to take longer than a few minutes to fix this area up. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the episode here. We'll come back in the next one, and then we'll actually work on this area like I originally said we would do in the last episode. So thank you for watching. Tune in for the next one and have yourself a good afternoon.